When I first began my Etsy and print-on-demand business, I struggled a lot with designing. I never thought of myself as somebody who was creative, and I spent countless hours just brainstorming and trying to think of designs for items that I wanted to sell. Something that really helped me was browsing on Etsy and looking at other listings, as well as looking on Pinterest. This began to give me ideas and inspiration for unique designs that I could create. But even then, I would spend another countless hours just trying to then design something that was even the slightest bit aesthetically pleasing. To sum it up, I definitely wasted a lot of time stuck in analysis paralysis with my design process. A few months ago, I began using Kittl, and it has really helped me speed up my design process. And so in today's video, I wanted to walk through step by step and share one way I like to create unique designs utilizing Kittl. My name's Taylor, and my channel is focused on all things Etsy and print on demand. If those are two things that interest you, I hope that you will boop that subscribe button down below and follow me in my journey to becoming a six-figure Etsy seller. Before I begin designing, I always make sure to conduct my research first. Something that I always tell myself and my coaching clients is that it is easier to create a design for SEO than it is to create SEO for a design. So I typically start my process by doing keyword research utilizing eRank, and then going over to Etsy to conduct my design research utilizing Everbee. So for this video, I did that research off camera, and I found a few keywords that I do want to try to target, and I went ahead and wrote them down on my little note here. And so the first keyword is pumpkin patch shirt. What we can see with this keyword on eRank is the average searches as well as the competition. Those are the two items that I pay closest attention to when I'm doing my keyword research. And looking at the search trend last year, this keyword started to get searches in August and then picked up in September, continued to climb in October, and then November is where it peaked off, and then you can see it drops off after that. The second keyword that I want to target is pumpkin season shirt. And as you can see, this keyword does have more competition, but I don't want you to necessarily be intimidated by competition. I think a best practice is to combine a combination of keywords within your SEO that have a good search volume and low, medium, and relatively high competition for that keyword. As you start to create momentum by ranking for maybe some of those lower competition keywords, those sales from ranking on those keywords will help boost your listing further in some of those more competitive keywords. And so it's not necessarily a negative thing to include some of those high competition keywords as long as the search volume is there. We would just want to pair those keywords with some of those more specific, smaller keywords that have the high search and not as much competition. With this keyword, again, we can see that it has a spike through July into September and then drops off for the previous year's search trend. As for the design research, here are 3 designs that I found as inspiration for what I want to create as I'm targeting these keywords. So I've gotten my research out of the way. I'm ready to start my design process. So I'm going to jump over to Kittl. One of my favorite aspects of Kittl is the templates that they have. It's great because I am not a graphic designer, but you know, I can look at something and realize, oh wow, that looks great. But I really do struggle with making something from scratch that I feel confident in and that looks great. So I'm gonna scroll up to the top and I'm gonna just type in fall pumpkin. With these templates, I'm going to find one that I feel I can modify to match the design style that I'm going for. So I found 2 templates that I really like. The first being this Happy Turkey Day template. And what caught my eye with this is the top of this graphic. I like this collage style. This is a style that has become increasingly popular with certain niches on Etsy, and designs like this tend to sell really well. So this was inspiring to me. And then the second design template that I found is this All Tricks No Treats pumpkin design. I loved the pumpkin. I thought he was super cute, and I really liked some of the fonts that were incorporated here. I think this template could be taken a multitude of directions design wise. However, I think I'm gonna go with the Turkey Day template. I have an idea in mind for what I wanna do with this graphic, so let me walk you through my thought process. So what I wanna do is get rid of this Happy Turkey Day. I'm not looking to make a Thanksgiving design. And another thing, I'm gonna go into the layers here, and underneath, I wanna get rid of the wood texture that is overlaid on this. So I'm gonna just delete that. I'm gonna get rid of the grunge texture as well. And now I have something to work with. So I'm gonna just bring this down a little bit just because I like things to be more centered. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of our turkey friend here in the middle because I'm not looking to design for Thanksgiving right now. And what I'm gonna do is actually just start to copy and paste some of these graphics and make a collage out of them. All right, so I am happy with how this collage style is coming together. The other thing that I wanna do with this is add some text. I'm gonna go over to this bar over here and just add a headline. I'm gonna bring that to the top and then I'm gonna just copy and paste that because I'm also gonna add some text below. So I'm thinking for the text, I'm gonna write, take me to, I'm gonna write pumpkin patch. Now I'm gonna go and explore some of the fonts and figure out what I like best. So I chose these fonts for the Take Me To and the Pumpkin Patch text. I did this Adventurer 03, and for the word the, I did Adventurer 01. And the last thing that I want to do is just adjust how the text is placed a little bit. So something I like to do in Kittl is use these different text transformation functions. And if you've ever been wanting to create wavy text like this is super popular on Etsy. I use Kittl to do so, and it makes it super easy. For this, I'm gonna do arch because the top of this, it's not really square, it's kind of more rounded off. I think just arching this text to the curvature of the graphic I think would be cute. And then I also want to make the word pumpkin patch a little bit longer. So what I actually do for that is I use this distort feature. I just drag the letters down to the length that I'm wanting them to be. So something that I've learned along the way with design, again, I'm not a graphic designer, however, you want your elements to look like they belong together. You would want them to match in the sense of when they're next to each other, right here, the word the and pumpkin patch, they line up a little bit better now because I distorted this text down. And so when I put it below, I think it just looks a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, as opposed to this when it was skinny. Distorting that text so that it matches like this just looks a little bit cleaner. So I'm gonna just tweak this top a little bit more. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is just make sure that my text is centered. So I'm clicking it and then going over to the right here and clicking this center button. Now the word the, I'm not gonna center. I'm going to keep it just on that far side of the word pumpkin. And I really like how that turned out. So the last thing that I would need to do is just save this and put it on a mockup. So I'm gonna just rename it, save this file. I'm gonna go to download, and I like to just make sure that the DPI is at 300. If you weren't familiar, DPI stands for dots per inch. And with direct to garment printing, which is what we are using with print on demand typically, dots per inch is for the dots of ink per inch on the fabric. So the higher the DPI, the more concentrated, the more higher quality, higher resolution your image is going to be and print on that item. So it's important to make sure that you have really great resolution. I'm going to remove the background because I want this to be transparent, and I'm going to download this as a PNG. And so there we have it, y'all. This is the final design. I went ahead and placed it on a mock-up that we could use and list this design on Etsy. And all in all, I just want to share that this process took me less than 15 minutes to do. And that is why I have truly loved and really enjoyed using Kittl in the past few months since I started. It has truly streamlined my design process, which was a huge pain point for me when I had originally started my Etsy and print on demand business. If you want to try Kittl, I do have a link in the description for you. I hope that you found value in this video and that it has inspired you in your design process. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to boop the like button and leave a comment down below. But I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one.